Hello, and welcome back to Ever After High Kiss and Spell by Suzanne Severs. Chapter 2, Snacky Time. Witches come in all shapes and sizes. Some spend their lives in isolation. Some ride brooms and terrorize villagers. Some do magic tricks at birthday parties. And some are nice, while others are wicked. Ginger's mother was one of the latter variety. She was the Candy Witch, the very woman rumored to have lured Hansel and Gretel into her gingerbread house, locked Hansel in a cage, and then tried to fatten him up so she could roast him for dinner. But that was one big lie. The truth was that Hansel and Gretel were nasty little children who didn't have an ounce of manners between them. They had been out in the dark forest one day, stomping on things and ignoring no trespassing signs, when they saw a house covered in candy. So without asking permission or waiting to be invited, they started to eat the house. Then, wanting more candy, they climbed through a window and started eating the interior. When the Candy Witch caught them, she was very upset. "How would you like it if I ate your house?" "But your house is made of bricks." But our house is made of bricks," Hansel said, a candy cane drawer handle sticking out of his mouth. "Ja, and made of mortar," Gretel added between bites of licorice rope curtain. The Candy Witch frowned. "That is not the point. The point is, dearies, my house belongs to me, not you. It is very rude to eat something that belongs to someone else." "We don't care," Hansel and Gretel said. So the Candy Witch called their parents, and when faced with the month of being grounded, Hansel and Gretel lied. "We ate the candy because the wicked witch forced us," Gretel said, candy corn stuck to her teeth. "And then she tried to cook us in the stew pot," Hansel added, wiping chocolate from his round cheeks. "Ja, she wants to eat us with dumplings." The horrid parents believed their horrid children. They told everyone they knew that Hansel and Gretel had outsmarted the wicked witch, barely escaping with their lives. The fable quickly spread from castle turret to sod hut, and because no one ever believes a witch, Hansel and Gretel's version of the story was written into the storybook of legends. Thus the Candy Witch's reputation as a child-eating monster stuck to her like gooey caramel. But even though she had no interest in consuming children, the Candy Witch still had a dark side. She was an expert at making evil potions, and she used them. The reason why she made evil potions was simple. She'd been born into a long line of wicked witches, and when one is wicked, one doesn't make nice potions. Her mother and grandmother taught her the witchy ways. Huddling over a steaming cauldron brewing something vile was what the women in her family did. She accepted her legacy with pride. Over the years, she had created a vast collection of potions. Some grew fur on bare skin, some made ears double in size, others stole voices. She always needed test subjects and learned early on that it was much easier to get a victim to eat an evil potion if it was hidden in a delicious treat. Who could resist the allure of a cupcake with buttercream frosting, or a gingerbread boy with gumdrop buttons? It didn't take long for the local villagers to realize that the sweet treats from the Candy Witch's kitchen were responsible for the unwanted tails and horns on their children. But she continued her quest, creating unpleasant potions, testing them, and publishing the results in academic and professional witch journals. Childhood was therefore quite difficult for Ginger. When your parent has a thriving career as a wicked witch and a reputation as a child-eater, you're destined to have trouble making friends. No parents allow their children to visit the Candy Witch's house, so Ginger was lonely. "Don't go near that place. The witch who lives there will eat you up," the neighbors warned. "My mom doesn't eat kids," Ginger shouted out the gumdrop-lined window. "That's a mean thing to say." But no one seemed to believe her. And thus Ginger's days passed, friendless. But then came a wonderful new opportunity called kindergarten. Because the local spellementary school didn't want anything to do with the Candy Witch or her child, it was arranged for Ginger to be schooled in a different fairy tale district. A horseless carriage picked her up before sunrise. On the first day, even though the journey was long, she was too excited to nap. The days at home, with nothing to do but watch her mother brew poison potions, had become as monotonous as waiting for water to boil. She'd felt like Rapunzel, locked in a tower, only Ginger hadn't been waiting for a prince. She'd been waiting to make friends. When she stepped out of the carriage at Aesop's Spellementary School, no one ran away in terror. When she walked into the kindergarten classroom, no one shrieked in fear. Having no idea about Ginger's wicked heritage, the teacher welcomed her. On that first day, Ginger played leapfrog, made a macaroni crown, and learned the names of every student. She never felt happier. As days grew into weeks, she didn't mind the long carriage journey to and from school, because the hours there became the best hours of her life, until it was her turn for snack time. Each day at recess, a different parent brought snacks to the kindergarten classroom. All sorts of lovely things were delivered, like 3 blind mice cheese wedges, beanstalk butter sandwiches, and royal crumpets. The teacher, Sister Goose, would hand out the snacks, and the kindergartners would munch happily. But unbeknownst to Ginger, her mother had signed up for snack duty as well. When the Candy Witch walked into the classroom, the students gasped. Because they lived in a fairy tale kingdom, they were used to seeing all sorts of beings, like fairies, trolls, and such. So they knew a witch when they came face to face with one. The Candy Witch, with her black military boots, ragged black dress, and green matted hair, could have been the poster woman for Wicked Witches. In fact, she had once been on the cover of Wicked Witch Monthly. The editors hadn't even needed to Photoshop a wart onto her chin, because she already had one. She did, however, like to accessorize with candy. A gummy slug necklace was her favorite piece of jewelry. "Hello, my little sweetlings," she said in her shrill voice. "Who would like a little snacky poo?" Sister Goose stepped protectively in front of her students. "And who might you be?" "I'm the candy—" She paused and cackled. "I'm Miss Breadhouse, Ginger's mother. Today is my day for snack duty." Everyone turned and looked at Ginger. She felt her cheeks go red. The Candy Witch held a tray of yellow cookies decorated like perfect smiley faces. "Eat your treats, my little lovelies," she grinned, exposing her blackened teeth. Then she stomped around the room, placing a cookie on each student's desk. "Don't eat those," Sister Goose exclaimed. "This woman is a witch, and a wicked one at that. I can tell just by looking at her." Wow. She peered over the top of her glasses. "In fact, I know exactly who she is. She's the Candy Witch, and she came here to eat us all." Ginger wanted to crawl under her desk and hide from the embarrassment. Everyone was staring at her. "Eat you? Why would I do that? I am curious, though, dear, if you'd taste better boiled or fried." When the teacher gasped, the Candy Witch cackled. I'm kidding. It's a witchy joke, nothing more." "If you didn't come here to eat us, you came here to poison us with one of your potions," Sister Goose said. "Everyone knows you make evil potions." The Candy Witch shrugged. "Okay, I admit it. I added a bit of shrinking potion, so sue me. It's all in good fun." She held out a smiley cookie. "Give it a try." "You are forbidden to bring snacks to our class again." Sister Goose grabbed a wastebasket and threw each cookie away. Then she crossed Miss Breadhouse off the snack duty list. "I'm sensing you're not fond of my sweets," the Candy Witch said dryly. After that incident, none of the other students hung out with Ginger. Invitations to birthday parties and requests for playdates stopped. She sat alone at recess and lunch. The carriage ride to and from school became unbearably long. "I hate school," she told her mother. "I don't want to go any more." "I sense this is my fault," her mother said, while mashing tarantula guts. Because Ginger was only 6 years old, she was too young to understand the depth of the situation. All she knew at that moment was that she felt very bad because she'd worked hard to make friends, and now she didn't have any. "Why can't you be like the other parents?" Ginger asked, her eyes filling with tears. "I'll never be like other parents, sweetie. One day you'll appreciate me for who I am." "But it's so unfair." She ran upstairs to her bedroom and slammed the door. A long while passed with Ginger face down on her bed, crying into her Cinderella pillow. As she rolled over to blow her nose, a knock sounded. Her mother's voice came from the other side of the door. "Ginger Pooh," she called, "if I make a batch of your favorite spelly doughnuts, will you come out of your room?" "No evil potions inside?" "No evil potions, just sugar and love." Ginger threw the door open and hugged her mom. Alright, so just got the backstory for that. And we'll continue with Chapter 3 in another video. Thanks for watching.